Welcome to About Mansfield. It's your audio newspaper. I'm Steve Casillo, broadcasting from the Somark Studios, along with the About Mansfield news team. Colleen Daniels, she's out there in Studio West. This is the March 19th, 2025, 263rd edition. Coming up, it's Mansfield News, Talk, and Information.
And a little later in the episode, you will have a chance to win a $25 gift card to a Mansfield restaurant of your choice with our Mansfield Trivia Question, courtesy of Joe Jenkins Insurance.
Let's take a look at the stories we're covering this week.
It's time to think Pickle, Mansfield.
Firefighters douse 2 structure fires and rescue family dog.
Local stage producers looking for singers and dancers.
Trinity Habitat for Humanity hosts 2025 Mansfield BuildStrong luncheon. And in sports, softball and soccer, in that order.
And in the talk segment, Steve concludes his interview with luxury travel planner Claudine Planter. We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. This is About Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool Hand, Cool Hand, Cool Hand, where excellence is still cool.
Are you ready to create unforgettable memories? Picture this: an enchanting event venue nestled amidst breathtaking landscapes with panoramic views right here in Mansfield. The Grandview Event Center is the perfect setting to bring your vision to life. From intimate gatherings to large-scale extravaganzas, the Grandview has flexible spaces to accommodate any occasion, be it a graduation or school function, art exhibition, or birthday or anniversary party. Book your next unforgettable experience at thegrandviewmansfield.com. That's thegrandviewmansfield.com. The Grandview Event Center, where memories are made and dreams become reality. Book your event today.
Hi, I'm Troy Dorsey, 8-time world boxing, kickboxing, and karate champion. And you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield. This portion of the news is brought to you by the Grandview Event Center in Mansfield.
Hold on to your pickle jars, folks. The 14th annual World's Only St. Patty's Pickle Parade in Palooza is set to brine and shine in Mansfield, Texas on Saturday. This event promises to be a big deal, offering a barrel of fun for everyone. The festivities kick off bright and early at 7 a.m. with the Pickle Run at James McKnight Park East. Runners can choose between a 5K and a 1-mile fun run to get their day started on the right foot. At 10 a.m., downtown Mansfield transforms into a pickle lover's paradise. The baby parade, pickle playground, community stage, market vendors, and beer booths all open their gates, ensuring there's something for every gherkin in the jar. The main event, the Pickle Parade, steps off at 1 p.m., featuring floats, marching bands, and, of course, the illustrious Pickle Queens. Be sure to find your spot early, as this event is sure to pack 'em in like pickles in a jar. For those with a competitive spirit and an iron stomach, the afternoon holds the pickle eating and pickle juice drinking contests. Sign-ups begin at 4 p.m. at the main stage, with the contests kicking off at 4:30 p.m. It's a briny battle you won't want to miss. As the sun sets, the festivities continue with live music. The Red Iron Push Band takes the main stage from 5 to 7 p.m., providing the perfect soundtrack to cap off a day full of delightful activities. So, if you're in a bit of a pickle about your weekend plans, head on over to downtown Mansfield for a day that's sure to be the real deal. For more information and a full schedule of events, visit mansfieldpickleparade.org.
Mansfield firefighters responded to 2 separate structure fires within 24 hours. Saturday, the Mansfield Fire Department was dispatched to a fire on Chesterwood Court near Walnut Creek Drive and Debbie Lane. Crews arrived to find heavy smoke and flames coming from the garage. Engine 2 quickly deployed a hose line to attack the fire, while Engine 4 conducted a primary search of the home. Despite low visibility, Engine Region 4 firefighters located and safely removed the homeowner's dog from the smoke-filled house. The fire was quickly contained, preventing further damage. Moments later, crews responded to another fire in the 600 block of Prairie View Drive, that's in downtown Mansfield. Engine 4 initiated an aggressive interior attack. Despite heavy smoke conditions, Truck 1 conducted a primary search, while Truck 3 provided vertical ventilation from the roof, improving interior conditions. No injuries were reported. Firefighters worked to salvage as many personal belongings as possible. Both fires were brought under control efficiently. The cause of each fire remains under investigation.
The Troupe Theater is casting for Hairspray the Musical, with performances scheduled in mid to late June at the Farbest Theater. Auditions are open for both lead and ensemble roles, with a focus on strong dancers and singers. All roles are open, and nothing has been pre-cast. Auditions are virtual and due by Wednesday, March 20th. In-person callbacks will take place on March 23rd, starting at 12:30 p.m. at the Farbest Theater on Main Street in Mansfield. Rehearsals begin on March 31st. Hairspray is set in 1962 Baltimore and follows Tracy Turnblad's dream to dance on the Corny Collins show. Tracy's rise to fame sparks social change as she campaigns for the show's integration. Audition forms and more details are available at thetroupetheater.org.
Trinity Habitat for Humanity partners with families in the Mansfield area to build and improve affordable housing. Through volunteer work and community support, they help families achieve strength, stability, and independence through homeownership. Trinity Habitat has been active for years, empowering families and strengthening neighborhoods. Trinity Habitat for Humanity will host the 2025 Mansfield BuildStrong fundraising lunch on Tuesday, March 25th from 12 noon to 1 p.m. at the Mansfield ISD Center for the Performing Arts, right there on Debbie Lane. Speakers will include Mansfield Mayor Michael Evans, Mansfield ISD Superintendent Dr. Kimberly Cantu, and Trinity Habitat CEO Gage Yeager. Habitat for Humanity homeowner Cassandra Jones Lawrence will also give an update on her experience living in a Habitat home here in Mansfield. Doors open at 11:30 and the program will begin at noon. A complimentary lunch and parking will be provided. All are welcome to attend, but you must register in advance on the Trinity website at trinityhabitat.org, and at the top of the page, type in Mansfield Lunch in the search bar. Softball and girls soccer, in that order. We'll talk about it because sports is next.
I'm Philip Washington, Chief Investment Officer of Stonehill Wealth Management and host of the Wealth Building Made Simple podcast. First book I read in college was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it changed my life. And since then, I've read tons and tons of books on money. And what I've done is taken those lessons, simplified them, and I talk about those lessons on my podcast, Wealth Building Made Simple. So come hang out with us. We're on every major platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on YouTube. Wealth Building Made Simple.
Hey, it's Steve Casillo, and are you ready to make your voice heard? Want to bring out your ideas to life through captivating conversations and engaging visuals? Look no further than Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio, your one-stop destination for award-winning audio and video podcast recording. Equipped with cutting-edge microphones, crystal clear audio recording, and high-definition cameras, we're here to turn your ideas into engrossing content. But it's not just about the equipment. We're dedicated to bringing out the best in your content. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, we're here to elevate your podcasting game. We'll even help you with intro music, transitions, voiceover, and that professional polish that sets your podcast apart. So whether you're into interviews, storytelling, or simply sharing your expertise, Podcast Mansfield can help bring your podcasting dreams to life. Visit podcastmansfield.com. Podcast Mansfield, where creating your podcast masterpiece has never been easier.
At Methodist Mansfield Medical Center, we've been caring for our home team for over 15 years. Today, you'll find award-winning physicians on the medical staff, advanced neurosurgery, a Level 3 trauma center, critical care for newborns, and comprehensive orthopedic care. Methodist Mansfield, delivering the care our friends, neighbors, and home team depend on. That's community, and why so many people trust Methodist.
In sports, the focus turns to softball this week, and specifically the tremendous season the Lady Broncos of Legacy are having this year. As of this recording, the Broncos hold a 14-5 overall record and remain undefeated in district play at 4-0. The recent wins include a 17-0 victory over North Crowley, 11-zip win over Weatherford, an 8-0 shutout against Boswell, and a 10-0 win over your Mansfield Tigers. We've talked about her before. Sophomore standout Hope Gaudio has been a key contributor this season, leading the team in multiple categories, including on-base percentage, hits, doubles, triples, RBIs, and stolen bases. She's also tied for first in home runs and maintains a .709 batting average. Gaudio has shown her versatility on defense, playing at shortstop, center field, and catcher. The season is about halfway through with just 9 games to play. We will definitely be keeping an eye on the Lady Broncos' progress throughout the remainder of the season. Elsewhere around the softball league, the Lake Ridge Lady Eagles are 2-0 in district play. Timberview is holding steady at 3-2, while your Mansfield Tigers are even at 2-2, while Summit is looking for their first district win at 0-2. Meanwhile, on the pitch, the Lake Ridge Lady Eagles play their first soccer playoff match Wednesday night against Keller. The Eagles posted a 10-1-1 record this season in district play, good enough to secure the first place spot. The 4 remaining schools, Legacy, Summit, Timberview, and Mansfield, will be wrapping up their girls' soccer season later this week. If you have a comment about the show, the news, whatever's on your mind locally, the good, the bad, the ugly, doesn't matter. You can reach us by voicemail at 817-435-2938. Again, 817-435-2938. This coming Friday, March 21st, is World Poetry Day, an international observance celebrated every year on March 21st. It was established by UNESCO, and the aim was to promote linguistic diversity and allow endangered languages to be heard. And what better way to do it than through one of the most beautiful forms of artistic expression? Poetry. World Poetry Day also promotes the teaching, writing, reading, and publishing of poetry, and also encourages a dialogue between poetry and other forms of art. Its objective is to raise poetry back to its former status as one of the most appreciated and important forms of art. So let's give it a try. Local news keeps our roots held tight, shining through the morning light. It tells of changes down the street, the wins and losses we all meet. From city plans to high school games, it shares our stories and calls our names. Without its voice, we'd lose our way, blind to what shapes each passing day. A steady hand through joy and strife, it breathes the soul into our life. So guard it well, keep it alive. For local news helps our town survive.
Coming up after the break, we turn the page to the features section.
Strong to the bone? I'm Angel Biasatti, and we'll be talking about keeping your bones strong and Methodist Mansfield News to Know.
In this week's Cocktail of the Week, imagine your favorite garden ingredients crashing a cocktail party.
We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
This portion of the news was brought to you by the Grandview Event Center in Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool hand, cool hand, cool hand. Where excellence is still cool.
Congratulations to Anthony Mathers, who knew that the first 10 numerals after the decimal point in pi are 1415926,535. When we come back, this week's trivia question. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
Hi, this is Joe Jenkins with Joe Jenkins Farmers Insurance, specializing in auto, home, commercial, and life insurance. I was born and raised here in Mansfield, Texas. We're active in the community, and Mansfield's a town we really care about. Our office has over 30 years' experience in the insurance industry, and we're passionate about what we do and about customer service. For a free quote, please visit our website at joejenkinsinsurance.com or give us a call at 817-472-6058. Once again, that website is joejenkinsinsurance.com.
It is time right now for the highly coveted, wildly popular About Mansfield Trivia Question. If you are the first person to email the correct answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com, you will receive a $25 gift card to a Mansfield area restaurant of your choice. It's brought to you by Joe Jenkins Insurance. Whether you're looking for homeowners, commercial, auto, or any other type of insurance, Joe has helped Mansfield area residents understand the insurance coverage that best fit their needs since 2010. You can find him on the internet at joejenkinsinsurance.com. I've mentioned this before. I'm going to mention it again. Not everyone wins on a Wednesday. So if you're hearing this on a Thursday, a Friday, a month from now, give it a shot. You may be taking home a $25 restaurant gift card. Colleen, giddy up.
Well, Steve, longtime Mansfield residents have fond memories of the Cowbell Arena, which occupied the site where Legacy High School currently sits. The arena was constructed in 1958, and the Cowbell Indoor Rodeo started in 1959, with events throughout the year every Saturday night. This week's trivia question is, who established the Cowbell Indoor Rodeo? Email your answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com. Again, who established the Cowbell Indoor Rodeo? Good luck, and thanks to Joe Jenkins Insurance for the gift card.
Hi, this is Teresa Cohagen, Director for Visit Mansfield, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. Let's open up the features section. Angel Biasatti has information on keeping your bones strong in Methodist Mansfield. News to know. Angel?
Bones are parts of our body we rarely consider. They provide protection and support to our bodies, deliver nutrients. They even help form our face and body shapes. We have 206 of these bones, yet somehow we forget to pay attention to them. Typically, we don't think about our bones until they start causing pain. What many of us don't realize is that little extra bone, TLC, when we were younger, will make our bones much healthier in our golden years. Stress fractures, often due to overtraining, are some of the most common clinical bone health problems orthopedic physicians treat. These injuries are not only painful and frustrating to deal with, they can require surgical interventions and significant amounts of time off from sports to heal. We know that bones strengthen themselves in response to the load they are put under, and the more they are reasonably exerted, the stronger they become. Here are some tips to help keep your bones strong. Exercise is crucial. Eating a well-balanced diet, not a great deal of junk food. Train properly with the supervision of an educated trainer or coach. And should you get injured, follow directed rehabilitation instructions from your physician or therapist. So today, try and eat a healthy meal. Get out in the sun and run. Your bones will thank you for it. That's Methodist Mansfield News to Know. I'm Angel Biasatti reporting for the About Mansfield podcast.
Shaken or stirred, you know it's going to be good as Brian Certain serves up a drink that brings the essence of a spring garden crashing a cocktail party in this week's Cocktail of the Week. Brian?
This week's feature is the Radish and Cilantro Margarita, a savory twist on Mexico's most famous cocktail. While the classic margarita dates back to the 1930s, this garden-fresh variation represents the modern craft cocktail movement's push towards savory ingredients. The trend of incorporating vegetables into cocktails gained momentum in the late 2010s, with pioneering bars in Mexico City's leading the charge in vegetable-forward tequila drinks. Today, we're continuing our Spring Awakening series with perhaps our most adventurous cocktail yet. But don't worry about taking notes. I'll be giving out all the ingredients and instructions and posting them on bourbongospel.com. Ingredients: 2 ounces of a white silver tequila, a Blanco tequila, mind you. 1 ounce of fresh lime juice, because lime and tequila, they're like brothers and sisters. 3/4 of an ounce of agave syrup. We want something that's a little bit sweeter than our typical simple syrup. 2 thin radish slices, plus 1 additional for garnish. 6 or so fresh cilantro leaves plus a sprig for garnish, and then a pinch of sea salt. How do we make this beautiful cocktail? In a shaker, gently muddle the radish slices and the cilantro. Then add the tequila, lime juice, and agave syrup. Fill with ice and shake vigorously for the famous 15 to 20 seconds. Double strain into a rocks glass over fresh ice, and then float the radish slice and cilantro sprig for garnish, and then add just a pinch of salt on top to help brighten the cocktail. Flavor profile. First thing you're going to pick up the radish notes, the earthy tequila notes. Then you're going to pick up on a secondary note the fresh tequila, and then the citrus, the fresh lime juice. And then finally, the finish is going to be peppery with a sweet, subtle vegetal sweetness. Why this cocktail for late March? As home gardens begin producing their first harvests, radishes are among the earliest vegetables ready for picking. This cocktail celebrates the start of growing season while celebrating the expectations of what a cocktail can be. Pro tip: choose young, crisp radishes for their sharp, clean flavor. Older radishes can become too pungent and overwhelm the delicate balance of this cocktail. But as always, I'm open to hear your take and your input. You can reach me at brian@bourbongospel.com. And until next week, as Mark Twain said, too much of anything is bad. But too much whiskey, well, that's barely enough. Reporting for the About Mansfield podcast, I'm Brian Certain.
We're back in 60 seconds with the conclusion of Steve's interview with luxury travel planner Claudine Planter.
Imagine a city where innovation knows no bounds, where dreams take flight and the future unfolds before your very eyes. Welcome to Mansfield, a beacon of growth and a testament to vision. In the heart of Mansfield, a remarkable transformation is underway. But it's not just about the physical landscape. It's about the spirit that drives us forward. A spirit of collaboration that bridges cultures, a spirit of entrepreneurship that fuels prosperity, and a spirit of community that binds us as one. Mansfield is more than just a place. It's a canvas where diversity paints the picture of progress. From art festivals that ignite creativity to tech hubs that redefine boundaries, this city celebrates every voice, every passion. Mansfield, where growth knows no limits and the vision is limitless. Brought to you by the unstoppable spirit of the Mansfield Economic Development Corporation.
Hi, I'm Stevie Dawn Carter, Executive Director of the Fleetwood Project, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to another segment of About Mansfield. I'm Steve Casillo as we make the transition from news to talk. And today in studio, we conclude our two-part interview with luxury travel planner Claudine Planter. Enjoy. Do you also get down into the details of how should someone pack when they're going to an exotic place?
Oh, of course. Yeah. So if, let's say you were going to New Zealand and you'd booked your trip with me maybe about 2 to 3 weeks before going, I give you a packing list. I give you a tipping list. I give you some, if you wanted some concierge services, like, okay, let's say there's a restaurant that you heard of or that I'd heard of, like, you should definitely try this. So we'll probably book you, make a reservation for you to go. Yeah, there's a lot of hand-holding. Sometimes it's too much. The client's like, I want to do something. I have some clients now. They're like, I want to do something. We're just going to take 2 nights in Melbourne for ourselves. I'm like, okay, yeah, so I won't do anything for you in Melbourne. You're on your own. And this is after like almost a month of being in Australia. So,
and you don't call them halfway through the trip seeing how things are going.
Oh, right? Absolutely not. But I do have an app and they can text me and tell me how things are going. And the suppliers that I work with, usually if there are any issues, any hiccups, and or if the clients are just loving it beyond, measures, they'll send me an email and say, hey, your clients are doing well. So I'm not, even though they're far away, I'm not like, separated from them. So if my clients need me or there's anything I need to be aware of while they're traveling, I usually do know and I'm aware.
All right. So Paris, Dubai, Japan, Australia, those are all pretty big touristy spots. Are there any hidden gems that you know about that? All right, Claudine's got one in her back pocket that hardly anyone goes to.
I have several.
Several.
I don't share them unless they're my clients.
Okay.
But I do have several, which is nice because you want to go someplace and feel like you're discovering something.
Mm-hmm.
And so usually I see how my clients are. And a lot of my clients, I've known them for a while. And if it's a new client, then, we develop a relationship. But if I know you are adventurous, I'll tell you, okay, this restaurant, try this restaurant. Oh, you know what? You can take a taxi into this part of town and explore on foot. You'll see some really eclectic shops, whatever. Sometimes when I go for people in Paris, I'll send them to certain little neighborhoods. That's not on the tourist must visit spots.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, go into this little neighborhood, try this bakery. This was my favorite, local restaurant, so I'll tell them these little things.
Are there, pretty much everything we've talked about has been international. Are there luxury places in the United States that you recommend?
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. We have some fabulous properties in the U.S. Fabulous properties, but I don't specialize in the U.S.
No,
I don't. Because I don't feel like I would add that much value. So there may be like a hotel that you're not aware of that's whenever suppliers and hoteliers come to town, they'll invite you, go into Dallas, you have dinner, they tell you all about their properties and stuff. So sometimes, of course, you're going to talk about properties here in the States. I mean, I think during COVID, everybody was going to, I think it was the Amangiri. I mean, the Amans of the world, that's one of my favorite luxury brands. They are really fabulous. Talk about service. But we're also talking about really expensive properties. So, you have a few locations here in the States, and they have a new one in New York, I believe. So, there are luxury properties that are in all these different countries are here as well. And they do it very well here in the States as well. But I don't specialize in the U.S.
When you are on let's call it a fact-finding mission, you're going ahead of to learn about some of these different places. What are you looking for when you go into a 5-star hotel that's going to set this hotel apart from the other hotels?
Service is big for me. Mm-hmm. Service is number one, because in terms of architecture and design, at 5-star and at 5-star luxury, and there's a difference, they're all pretty much amazing. But when you walk in, and from the bellman to the receptionist to the guy that's in the elevator wiping it down and pressing the button because he remembers what floor you get off of. So that is very important to me. That is important that when I walk in, they make me feel special because I'm spending my money. Mm-hmm. And lots of time when I do this, a lot of people think, oh, you go get it for free. No, I actually pay. Because if I go as Claudine from Paradigm Travel, I'm going to get very good treatment.
Oh, sure, because they know.
Exactly. And a lot of times they'll invite you to, I've gone on to these hotels, say, come on, check this hotel out because, you've sent us our clients, or we want you to send us, your clients. It's a different experience. So when I go in as just Claudine off the street and I'm treated superbly, oh my goodness, they'll get all my clients. And not just my clients, but I tell all my colleagues, I checked out this hotel in Thailand and they were amazing. You're going to love it. Your clients are going to love it because it's a small network of us, I think, So, and yes, we are competitors, but we're also friends. So we do share this information too. So,
what's the best part of your job?
Traveling.
The
best part of my job.
But that's not a job, though, is it?
No, it is a job. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It gets pretty stressful, because things goes wrong. You need to know what to do when your client misses their flights. It's not just about rebooking. It's, I've had experience where my client was, going to Bali. She missed a connecting flight and she thought just, okay, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to buy a one-way ticket. And then she calls me and tells me, oh, I bought a one-way ticket because I didn't to go. But I'm like, if you miss your outbound flight, your inbound flight is automatically canceled. She didn't know that. You need to know that. She's like, what? Yes. I'm like, so we had to go in and rebook her. But we have to do it to the back door because she'd already canceled the outbound by missing it. So you have to know what to do. You have to know, I have clients who've gone to the wrong airport, gone at the wrong time.
Went to Austria instead of Australia.
Australia, that would be a nice mishap. But you have clients, that sometimes, especially if you leave them to book their own flight, they know the differences in time gets them. So they'll like, okay, I know I need to be in, let's say, in Kuala Lumpur on the 19th, so I leave on the 18th. No, you will not get there on the 19th. Chance you get there on the 20th, So, there are mishaps like that. And
you got to factor in the international dateline.
Exactly.
And the time changes. The question that came up then in my mind when someone misses a flight, or how do you handle last minute changes? How do you handle cancellations? I mean, my goodness, COVID was a prime example of cancellations, and people get sick, people injure themselves.
Yeah. So COVID was a little bit different because that was an evolving situation.
Yeah.
But typically for cancellations, people getting sick, people unfortunately dying, or someone's loved one dying. Insurance, travel insurance. I personally do not leave this country without travel insurance. I think it's very important because a lot of things can and do go wrong, and you don't want to be in Italy with a broken arm and having to pay, for surgery, or you having to cancel your vacation and just being out the money you paid for it because you got to come back home. So insurance take care of all of that. Your typical medical insurance here doesn't usually cover you once you leave the country.
Interesting.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, oh, I have a credit card. I have a credit card, and I know what that covers. I know, the limitations on that as well. So I'd rather take whatever it costs to cover my trip. And I'm like, okay, at least I'm protected. I don't have to worry about anything. So with my clients, I give them the same spiel, like you need to get a travel insurance. If they opt not to, I have them sign a waiver because when things go, I'm not going to leave them by themselves. It's going to stress me out because, you're going to be over there and it's on a trip that I booked and you're hurt or injured or in some predicament. So I'm like, we need to get you protected.
So travel insurance not only covers the airline in case you miss your flight or if the flight has been canceled, it goes into medical as well.
Oh, that's a big part of that because a lot of times, depending on the reason, so the FAA has a lot of rules, right? Depending on the reason for the cancellation, the airline has to, compensate the traveler. Lots of people don't know what their rights are. So with that case, too, usually I find out if it's on the airline's part, if it's weather, if it's mechanical, what they cover, how long they have to be maybe sitting on the tarmac or sitting in the airport before coverage starts.
Yeah.
Yes, the airline is responsible in certain cases. However, in situations where it's outside, like the airline does not have responsibility, that's when the travel insurance will kick in. You'll get your baggage delay. If they lose your baggage, you'll get reimbursed. But the big part for me is the medical. You go, you miss it, break your tooth, you're covered. You go, God forbid, you reach to your destination and you heard that your dog died. You can come back home. It's covered.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Pets are included.
Okay.
Pets are included and family members, of course. But it's good to know that your pets, because sometimes some pets are like your family, right? So it's good to know that they're included in lots of travel insurance.
I can only assume since 2015 when you started Paradigm Travel that someone has had to take advantage of travel insurance. Can you give me an example of why they filed a claim and how it was resolved?
Okay. So I've had lots of people file claims because they couldn't travel. Like I had a client filed a claim a few days before her trip because her dad had passed. I've had clients file claims because they have lost their luggages. I've had clients file claim because they missed their flights. I've had clients file claims because of health reasons. So getting sick during travel. So yes. So usually, because of how the law is written, if you have a claim, I can walk my client through, and I typically walk them to do everything, but they have to file the claim themselves.
Sure.
So I walk them through, and in every case, they have had their claims handled well and got reimbursed. I had one situation where the client, they decided not to take a trip because it was during COVID time. It was more fear. It was post-COVID, but no, I think that is still going on, so I don't want to go. So there wasn't a valid reason. And so they filed a claim. I'm like, you don't have a valid reason. And even though they didn't have a valid reason, I spoke with the hotel and I was able to get back some funds for them, but they wanted back everything. So I'm like, we can't do that. And with this one, I actually lost that client. It's a sad story. I shouldn't have brought that one up.
But you do as much as you can.
I do. But that client wanted me to, because then the insurance said, okay, how much were they reimbursed? And I told them they got back, let's say 50%.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to tell the insurance they got back 100%. And I'm like, no, that's not going to happen.
You don't have a valid reason.
You don't have a valid reason. You got back 50%. I'm not going to be unethical. And they were not very happy. But that's okay. I'm okay with losing that client.
Let them move on.
There you go.
Do you also get into luxury travel, private jets, yachts?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Is there such thing as a luxury train?
Yeah, of course. Oh my goodness, yes.
And where can I find a luxury train?
In your favorite Europe.
Okay.
You can find luxury trains in Europe. I'm looking right at the Bellman trains there. You can find luxury train in South Africa. There's two.
Wow.
There are two. Very fabulous. And you also have luxury trains in pretty much any continent. I have clients doing it in Australia. I have clients doing it in New Zealand. I have clients doing it in where did you do? In India. There's luxury trains everywhere. They're not as, I guess, popular as it was back in the days, maybe. Yeah. But they're still there and they're still luxurious, and it tend to keep to that traditional luxury, so that that old world luxury. So.
Luxury train.
Luxury train.
And what's involved with a luxury train? The only thing I envision is sitting down with in the dining car with tablecloths and wine glasses. But
yes, that pretty much that. Yes, but okay. So let's say that, and I'm going to talk about the GAN now because it's very clients are doing it next month. Mm-hmm. So the GAN is a luxury train that goes from Darwin to Adelaide. That's in Australia.
Okay.
So you get on there in a private car. They're spending 3 nights on it. So it's fabulous dining, of course. But beyond riding the train and seeing the scenery, you get off and you have experiences in different parts along that route. So you don't just sit on the train and look out the window. You get off and do stuff.
Okay, so it's almost like a cruise where you go into a port and you take a day excursion.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Do you do cruises?
I do cruises. They're not I would say they're not something that I do a lot of.
Yeah.
Not the traditional Royal Caribbean, Norwegian Carnival. I actually don't do Carnival at all.
Okay.
So I do Regents and Crystal and Seabourn. So high-end luxury cruises that sail pretty much the same places, but further afield.
Smaller ships. You're not going to see zip lines on the top deck.
No, they're so small. Some of them only have 100 and something people. Huh. Some usually for luxury cruise, you have a max of maybe about 700. So quite unlike the 5,000-6,000 that you'll see on a Royal Caribbean.
Right.
And these are usually butler suites, very elevated, very, very elevated, wonderful experience. Quite similar to river cruising. I would say river cruising is more similar to small ship luxury cruising because they're the same. But with your river, you're only on the river.
Okay, but there are some really nice rivers in Europe.
And I've sailed them all. I love them.
Okay.
I love river cruising.
I've never taken a river cruise. My wife and I decided that we are going to take a cruise in 2026, and we actually opted for an ocean cruise versus a river cruise.
Why?
But,
why did you choose? Is it because you're more knowledgeable about ocean cruising? Or?
No, not really, because we've only taken one ocean cruise. So this is only our second cruise.
Okay.
But we found it's an 11-day cruise from Lisbon, starts in Lisbon, ends in Barcelona. It just sounded very appealing to us.
Yes.
That again, it's a smaller ocean boat. Ocean liner, goes to the Canary Islands. It stops at Casablanca and Agadir.
Oh, so you go on into Morocco?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And so it's still a year away.
Yes.
But it's something that we've already started looking at day excursions. And it's like, okay, yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Wait, this is a year away.
But you know what? A lot of people plan a year in advance. Most of the trips that are being taken right now, most of my clients who are traveling this year, we started last year. Very rarely do you have, especially for a big ticket item, people planning the year that they plan to travel.
What percentage of your planning are honeymoons?
Very little.
Very little.
Very little. Lots of my clients are retired or semi-retired because they're the ones who can afford to go to these destinations and really experience the destinations as it's meant to be experienced. So, you don't want to go to New Zealand for a week.
Yeah.
In day 3, you're just like, okay, awake, and then you're gonna get ready to come back. It's a destination that you want to go in and really immerse yourself in. Not to mention Australia. Australia is a continent. Like, you got to pick which side you're gonna go. You're gonna go to the north. You're gonna go to the south, the east, the west, the middle of the country. You're gonna go down to Tasmania. There's so many parts of it that 2 weeks minimum. And most people, we're vacation short when you're working in the U.S.
And you go out to Ayers Rock, which is right in the middle of the country, and then it's like, well, what else is out there?
Exactly.
And it's just a big rock.
It's more than a big rock. Oh my goodness. Uluru is amazing. It's spiritual, and it's, for the local indigenous people there, it's really spiritual. So, and you have I would say one of the most beautiful luxury lodges of Australia, close to Ayers Rock. But you also have a couple other hotels, and you have, 3-star hotels and stuff. So you have, it's a destination,
Just to go see a rock.
Just to go see this amazing monolith.
Oh, okay. All right. So there's a little more to it than just a rock.
Yes.
Enchanted Rock out there in West Texas is a rock.
Oh, yes.
So.
Yes. This is why I love travel. You learn so much about yourself, about different cultures. It's just amazing. The world's such an amazing place. So I love traveling to experience that.
Well, as I said, my wife and I plan on doing a lot of traveling, probably starting at 26 and, seeing the world.
Yes,
and so if someone was to want more information on luxury first-class travel, how do they get in touch with Paradigm Travel?
The best way to get in touch with Paradigm Travel is by email. You can email Claudine at paradigmtravelagency.com. And yes, there is a G. And yes, it is silent. It's a mouthful. I didn't really think about the spelling and the, how popular or unpopular of a word that is.
Sure. Paradigm. Paradigm.
Right, Paradigm Travel Agency.
So Claudine at paradigmtravelagency.com is the best way to reach you. You also have a Facebook page.
I have a Facebook page. I'm on Instagram. Of course, you can reach out to me in all these different forms. And I typically get back to you pretty quickly. We set up a meeting to have a conversation. I usually set up a 15, 20-minute phone call prior to getting started because we got to make sure we're a good fit. I'm not the person you call if you want to go to Mexico for 2 nights to sit at a
Cozumel resort.
Yeah, or, the swim bar for a couple of days.
Yeah.
I can do that. I do that, but I think you can also do that, and there's no great difference. I think if you're wanting something exceptional, if you want someone to give you the ins and outs, to someone who knows travel and not just destinations, someone who understands that you're going to these different places, why you're going to these different places, what you can experience when you go to these different places, that's when you would call someone like me.
There's always this misconception that travel agents are expensive. Yet, if I were to piece my vacation together, the airline, the hotel, anything else, am I not paying the same price because you are getting your commission from the airlines? Is that correct?
Absolutely. That is so correct.
So I can piece it together myself, but I can go to a professional and have them do it, and I'm still paying the same price.
You're so right with that. So lots of time people have the misconception that if you come and talk to me, you want me to book your hotel, I'm going to charge you $300 for the hotel that you can pay $250 for. And that's not the case. Oftentimes, especially with luxury properties, we're getting the same price or lower. Mm-hmm. And in addition to that, we're giving you perks. So usually if I book any of the hotels within my consortia, you're getting food and beverage credit. Usually it's $100 or the equivalent of wherever you are in the world. You're getting breakfast. You're getting free upgrades. You're getting treated as a VIP because I'm sending an email to the reservations manager or the sales manager or the hotel manager, depending on who I know, saying, hey, my client is coming. This is my VIP client. Every client is my VIP client.
There you go.
So my VIP client is coming. If they're celebrating something or if it's their first time in the country, I'm telling them all this information. Expedia cannot do that for you. Right. So I got a lot of clients post-COVID from that call like, oh, I booked this trip and I can't get somebody on one of these online travel agencies. I'm like, okay, but I can help you with that. However, just know that all my clients got refunds or got credits for their trip. No one was out any of the money they paid during COVID. So no, we are not more expensive. Oftentimes we are the same price or less. But, and this is the big but, for me, I do charge a planning fee because I do more than just book your trip. I do concierge services, as I told you. Like there's restaurants, we'll make reservations. We'll do lots of little extra stuff that you're not expecting, that we don't get compensated for any other way. Plus, I believe that what I do offer is a service, and I do charge for that service.
You should be paid for that service.
Yes, I do. And lots of people most of my clients, whenever the first conversation is, what's your planning fee? How much do you charge? So a lot of people understand that what we do provide, that, there is a value to it and they're open to paying. The ones who aren't open to paying it's okay.
Yeah. In the couple of minutes that we have left, is there any advice that you want to put out there that we haven't already covered?
We've spoken about a lot, but I would definitely say that if it's on your bucket list, do it. Life is so unexpected. So many things can and do happen. And I've had too many clients who waited too long and can't experience the destination properly. I've gone on so many trips and seen people on a river cruise on a, using the electric scooters because they can't get out. A lot of the rest of the world is not ADA. And because people forget that ADA, the A in ADA is American.
Right. That's right. The American Disabilities Act.
Yes.
Right. Where are the ramps? There
are no ramps. There are some of the things that we take for granted when we travel here in the U.S. is not there, and they complain and they say, "Oh no, it's so difficult to climb these steps or to do this hike." So do it while you're young. Do it while you're healthy. And if you can't afford to spend 3 weeks in Australia, then go somewhere else, or go for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Go somewhere closer to home. Mexico is amazing. It's such a beautiful country. I hate when people think that is only Cancun. It's so much more than Cancun and Cozumel,
Yeah.
So go somewhere closer, stay in the U.S. Go somewhere a different state, but travel and experience something different.
And don't walk cobblestone streets in heels?
Oh, forget your heels. Forget your heels. Flats are the way to go. Yeah. Every single country.
Claudine at ParadigmTravelAgency.com is the email address. Reach out to her if you want any type of luxury travel. She's right here in Mansfield.
I'm local.
Yay. Claudine, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
And,
thanks for having me.
I hope someday we'll see each other on the beach somewhere in some exotic island.
Oh, absolutely. And let's do more than hope.
There you go. Thanks for being on About Mansfield.
Thank you.
Coming up next week on About Mansfield, an update with an author with whom we interviewed back in 2022. It's a great story. In the meantime, this is the place where you will hear the latest Mansfield news, talk, and information. Until then, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, engage, connect, amplify, elevate, celebrate, embrace, explore, share, love, or, support this podcast if you haven't already so you never miss an episode. It's free and it's easy. Head on over to our website, aboutmansfield.com. Enter your email address right there on the homepage. We will never, ever, 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 ever send you any spam. We promise.
About Mansfield is recorded at Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio. Hosts Steve Casillo and Colleen Daniel. Moment with the Mayor feature, Michael Evans. Methodist Mansfield News to Know, Angel Biasatti. Cultural Arts Calendar, Tim Roberts. Cocktail of the Week, Brian Certain. Post-production editing, mixing, and mastering, Steve Casillo and Andrew Miner.
This podcast is copyrighted by Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this podcast without prior written consent is strictly prohibited. We thank you all for listening on behalf of the entire news team. I'm Steve Casillo, and this is About Mansfield.